By the end of this episode, you will understand how to acquire 100K in business funding in 90 days or less. Stay until the end so you can get all the sauce. So, welcome back to the podcast episode. Welcome to a new episode of the CAP Podcast Consumer Ammunition Tactics Podcast. Hopefully, y'all blessed. Hopefully, y'all amazing. Hopefully, y'all are great. So, if you're watching a video, this is not a sponsorship, but today's episode is not sponsored by Creed. I just want to say the scent of the day is Creed. If you're listening on the audio, you can look up Creed Aventus. It's a black and clear bottle. I like smelling good. You should like smelling good. Whether you're a man, woman, go ahead and get your smell game right. So get you some Creed, get you some Tom Ford, get you, whatever you need to get. So you can get to the next level as far as your smell as well. So we're going to be talking about business funding, acquiring business funding. I know a lot of y'all love business funding. Before we get into it, I need you to understand your credit score does not matter. Your credit score does not matter. I've dropped a podcast episode talking about that. The fact that your credit score does not matter. When I say your credit score does not matter, those of y'all that follow me know I'm talking about the profile. It's more so about the components of your actual score, right? Your data points. What data points are you hitting? You got to understand, people that know about credit know that your credit score doesn't matter. It's more so about the structure, because someone that has an 800 to get declined faster than someone that has a 700, but their profile is set up correctly. So I just want to reiterate that in today's episode so that we can go about our situation as far as how we can maximize our funding. So we're going to get into the money, but number one, I want us to focus, before we even get into the credit profile, I want us to focus on terminology. I know a lot of people, when it comes to business funding, business credit, they're not really following when people are talking about it. So I just want us to take it back to the drawing board. So let's just talk about business funding. Business funding is an umbrella term. What do I mean by that? It's an umbrella term for different products. So business funding is composed of business credit cards, business lines of credit, business loans, business auto loans, right? So you got to understand, when people are saying business funding, it's composed of different things. You have to clarify what they're actually talking about. And there's different stipulations that's associated with business funding. Business credit cards. A lot of people like business credit because of the fact that you can get 0% interest credit cards. And on top of that too, things on the business side typically don't report to the personal side. Discover is one example of business that does report to the personal side, but majority of the time, just do your due diligence research, it's not going to report to the personal side. What does that mean? If you go apply for something, you get a hard inquiry on the business side. You're not going to have an open account on your actual personal report because it's on the business side. If my name is Michael, at the LLC is different from me. So if I get something my business name, it's not supposed to report to my personal, assuming I don't apply with like Discover or something. So keep that in mind. Business credit cards, people like them because a lot of times you'll have a 0% interest period, anywhere from 9 months, 6 months, a whole year, 18 months, things like that. And the reason why that's favorable is because when we acquired a business funding, the business funding, meaning business credit cards in this example, we have a 0% interest period. Let me define that as well. Meaning that, let's say you get $50,000 business credit card. If you use all of that $50,000, typically credit card interest rates are going to be anywhere from 12, 13% up to over 20%, depending on how your credit is. But when it's a 0% interest card, it means that 0% interest for the period of, what you have. So if it's 6 months, if it's 9 months, 0% interest for that period. So what does that mean? That $50,000 card, if I take off that $50,000, I go invest it into real estate. I go invest it into marketing myself. I'm only paying $500 a month on that $50,000 because you're basically going to pay like 1% of your balance during that 0% interest period, right? So you got to think about it. You have to go into it strategically, and it has to make sense. This is why anytime I get somebody funding, I have to hop on a call with them and make sure they know what they want to do with the funds. Because I would hate to get you the money and then it doesn't go how you wanted it to. You blow it on some useless stuff, So keep that in mind. So you get the 0% interest credit card, $50,000. You take the $50,000 off, you do what you need to do. If you can't make a return on $50,000, at least $500 a month for that 9 month, 6 month, whatever period, you're in the wrong business, you're in the wrong investment. So these are things you got to understand when you're getting business credit cards. Business credit cards in particular are also favorable because of the fact that a lot of times they're stated income. What does stated income mean? Stated income means the projection of what you think your business is going to do within that year. So what does that mean? If you open up a new LLC, it's 2023 right now, right? Let's say you open up a new LLC during this week, this month, whatever. Obviously, you haven't made money from the business yet if you just opened it. So if you're applying for that business credit card with a new LLC, what you're saying is projected income. I can't tell you what you project your income to be, right? It has to make sense though. Like if you never had a business in life and you just like, oh, my projected income is $10 million, obviously we're not going, it has to make sense. But if it's just $200,000 or something like that, if that's what you project your business to do, typically with business credit cards, it's stated income. So what you state is what it's going to be. So keep that in mind. Make it make sense though. I'm not telling you to go ahead and lie. Like it has to make sense. So that's typically why we like business credit cards. When we move to lines of credit are basically where you're essentially paying on what you're using. So if you get a $50,000 line of credit, you're paying back basically what you're using, So keep that in mind as far as the use of business lines of credit. Typically, you're going to want to have 2 years of business and be able to have income statements and things like that. But there's certain products that have no doc lines of credit. So this is why I say that you want to do your due diligence when it comes to credit unions, when it comes to just having the knowledge base of how to actually go about getting your funding. So when we talk about getting at least 100K in business funding in 90 days or less, it's going to differ because maybe you need to work on your personal. Maybe you need to get negative items removed, right? Maybe you're already structured. Maybe you need to get some primary accounts. Maybe you need to expand your profile, or maybe you're just ready. If you're ready already, then it's going to be the 90 days or less. Sometimes what you want to do, a lot of times what I recommend is establishing a relationship with the bank, the credit union, before you go ahead and apply. So what does that include? Opening up a business checking account. Okay, you open up the business checking account, maybe you open up a business savings account. Maybe you put $25 in the business checking, $25 in the business savings. Maybe you work a 9 to 5, you enroll in direct deposit with them just to show them that you're serious about using them. Okay, let at least 30 days go by, then you apply. This is why we say 90 days or less. You want to show that you actually are interested in doing business with them. So by the time you get your business credit card, your business line of credit, you can get up to $50,000 business credit card, depending on the institution you're going to. You can get up to a $50,000 line of credit, no docs, depending on the institution that you're going to. So that's 100,000 right there, right? So that's just a blueprint right there on how to actually set that up. So that's business line of credit. Business auto loans. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to do Turo. I want to do a hire car, stuff like that. So with business auto loans, the main thing that I did in my experience, there's other ones you could apply for. Bank of America, they do business auto loans, up to 4 auto loans for one LLC, right? So I took an LLC that I've had for 2 years at the time, and I also took a new LLC just to test it out. I got the same approvals because it was based off of my personal credit profile. Although my scores were damn near 800, it wasn't the fact that my scores are damn near 800. I got student loans, that I've paid for. I got high limit credit cards, multiple 5-figure limit credit cards, so I had the history, and I had authorized user trade line just to boost up the age. But you also have to have your own primaries as well. So it's about the structure. So I also had an auto loan that I paid off as well. So that showed Bank of America that, okay, we could trust him to be able to pay us back. So with the business auto loan, I went and got that. And those are 4 auto loan approvals I was able to get to be able to go start a fleet on Turo. And like I said, you can get up to 4 per LLC. So I got those 4 approvals, and then I tested it out by taking a new LLC. Got the same approvals again. So that lets you know that it's based off of your personal credit being good. So I need y'all to really understand that your mindset needs to be, let me focus on my personal credit being good. I hope that y'all could replay this episode, replay this YouTube video as need be, take notes as necessary. But one of the main lessons I need y'all to focus on is making sure your personal credit is good. Yes, we could build business credit. We can get net 30s, net 60s, net 90s, go through the different tiers, getting these gas cards, all of that. That's not my own reality. I just focus on making sure that my personal credit was right so that I can go get my funding and do what I need to do. Because the whole thing of non-PG and having bad credit, bad personal credit, that's a 9 to 5 mindset because you're running away from your responsibility of what you should have managed in your personal, right? And when we say 9 to 5 mindset, we're talking about a poor mindset. A poor mindset meaning somebody that's just you don't want to take ownership, you don't want to take accountability, so you don't want to have a 9 to 5 poor mindset. If you watch my videos, if you subscribe to me, I'm talking to people that's part of the people that want to grow, right? They have something called a growth mindset. They have something called a fixed mindset. I studied mindfulness. I wrote a book called The Power of Yet. Right? I spoke about growth mindset. I spoke about fixed mindset. Poor people have a fixed mindset. Rich people have a growth mindset. Think and grow rich. Napoleon Hill wrote that. Anything the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. So I need y'all to understand that. I said in The Power of Yet, the book that I wrote, if you're misguided and undecided, knowledge and wisdom can be provided. That means that the person that's open to it, the person that has a growth mindset, will get that mentorship. The person that knows everything, that has that poor mentality, that says everything is a scam, they're just gonna stay where they're at with a fixed mindset. So I need y'all to work on y'all mindset as well if you have a poor mindset. So keep that in mind. So personal, right? It's gonna be step one. And in terms of getting this 100K in business funding in 90 days or less, this goes back to a framework that I created that we're going to talk about, my BPE framework. It's a 3-step framework that's going to help you get the funding that you need to go ahead and maximize your business, scale your business, grow your business. We need extra capital as business owners, right? So you need to do what you need to do. So number one is, we're just going to go through the framework. Number one is believe. Believe, believe, believe. Y'all know I'm big on mindfulness. Your mindset is what's going to help you get to the next level. What you believe is what it is. If you believe you cannot do something and someone else believes that they can do the same thing, both of those people are correct. Think about it. If you lack confidence in yourself, why should I believe in you? If you don't believe in yourself, why am I going to believe in you? If you believe in yourself, I'm going to be like, okay, dang, I believe in that person. Me, I personally know. I know, and I say I got the most valuable YouTube channel on the planet. Got the most valuable YouTube channel in the world. My YouTube channel is more valuable than a Harvard or Yale degree. I firmly believe in that, right? And people know that. People that tap into my YouTube channel, they know we have over 1,500 videos at this point. So I know I got the most valuable YouTube channel on the planet. I knew that I wasn't working a 9 to 5. At the time, I wasn't working a 9 to 5. I said I was before I was. It's something that I like to say, right? You got to speak it into existence and then go put in the work to actually make it happen. So part of the belief is knowing who you are. Some of y'all don't know who you are. Some of y'all are so great, but you doubt who you are. Some of y'all have imposter syndrome. That's the issue with some of y'all, right? Some of y'all have imposter syndrome. So you need to just work on it. Work on your relationship with God. If you subscribe to God, I subscribe to God personally, so I'm going to talk about God. Just work on your relationship with God and continuing to allow God to give you that belief in yourself. Continuing to allow God to give you that discernment to know right from wrong, to know who you are from who you aren't. You got to work on that, right? So keep that in mind. That's the belief aspect. Part of the belief as well is knowing that any item can in fact be removed. I've said it many times. Your credit score, your credit journey is like a boxing match. It takes time. Maybe you're going to knock the item out. Maybe you're not immediately. It takes time. Maybe you send round 1. They say verify. Maybe you send a method of verification and then it gets deleted, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe you got to send a pre-litigation notice. Maybe you got to actually sue them in small claims, like my mentees know how to do, and then you get your results, right? So keep that in mind. If you got negative items on your credit right now, they can be deleted and they will be deleted. This is part of the belief pillar. It's a 3-step pillar. We have to believe it can happen. We literally have documentation. If we go to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, 15 USC 1681. If we go to the 15 USC 1681 Congressional Findings Section, 1681 A1. A1 says the banking system is dependent upon fair and accurate credit reporting. The banking system, these people that you're trying to get your 50 to 500K in funding from, So what does that let you know? They're dependent upon fair and accurate credit reporting because they borrow money based off of your credit. They need to lend you this money out so that they can continue flowing how they're flowing. Don't y'all know that if y'all leave money in the bank, like they're making money off of your money? Some people leave like hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. The bank is, lending the money, borrowing the money, doing different things to go ahead and grow their own money. So that's why poor people are so interesting, like the mentality, because it's like they like to hoard this little money and not use the money to go and invest, go and grow, right? You'll work a 9 to 5 that's scamming you, right? Because everything is a scam. They'll work a 9 to 5 that's basically scamming them 40 years straight to get 40% of their pay, their pension, whatever they want to call it, their retirement. How are you getting a portion when you've been working all these years and you've been, climbing up the corporate ladder? But then when it comes to something like entrepreneurship, when it comes to something that's going to set up their generation for life, when it comes to investing in themselves, now they don't want to believe in all that. Now they want guaranteed results. Guarantees are for poor people. I don't want y'all to die poor. I don't want y'all to have a poor mentality. So I need y'all to remember, you watching this, you do not have a poor mentality. You have a rich person's mentality. You have a growth mindset. Rich people have a growth mindset. Poor people have a fixed mindset. Poor people know everything. Oh, I already know that. Oh, I already know this. Oh, why am I investing this? Why do I need to spend money for this? Why are you charging for this? But you don't question your boss. At that 9 to 5, you don't question that $20 an hour. It takes you so many weeks just to make $1,000. You don't question that though. But when it comes to business, it's a scam. So I need y'all to, just tighten up on the mindset, the belief aspect. So the belief aspect is also understanding the FCRA and just knowing that any item can in fact be deleted. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When it will be deleted. You will get that item deleted. You will get that item deleted. You are who you think you are. You are who you think you are. If you believe in yourself, if you listening to this, you watching this, I'm gonna need y'all that's listening to the audio to go watch this on YouTube. It's more powerful. If you believe in yourself, you will, get what you want. You have to believe in yourself and make it happen. I got a master's degree in Michael Benjamin because I know myself and I believe in myself. I got a PhD in prophecy because I said it and I made it happen. You're gonna say it, you're gonna make it happen. You have a master's degree in you. You have a PhD in prophecy. Prophesy it. Work on your relationship with God. It's gonna get better. Let's get it. So that's the belief aspect. It's a spiritual phase. I spoke about this in my book, The Power of Yet, in a different manner. But the second phase is the plan phase. So this is the mental phase. Planning. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Yeah, we can know all the banks. We can use Bank Branch Locator. We can use iBankNet, all of that, all these resources. We can watch all my videos, all that. But number one, part of the plan is knowing what you need and only focusing on what you need. If you're just trying to get $1 million in funding, just to get $1 million in funding, but you only need 50,000, you only need 100,000, just get what you need. Just get what you need, right? So if you need 50,000 to 100,000, only focus on that. Just reverse engineer your process. Know like, okay, this is what I want to get, and this is where I need to strategically go. Know which banks pull what, right? And you gotta also be humble. Like I said in The Power of Yet, the book that I wrote, if you're misguided and undecided, knowledge and wisdom can be provided. Misguided, maybe you just weren't taught this information about business credit, business funding. Undecided, maybe you're on the fence, you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So if you're any of those two things, if you're misguided and undecided, knowledge and wisdom can be provided. Knowledge is the knowledge base. It's the accumulation of the information. So knowing these banks and all that. Wisdom is the application of the information. So knowing how to actually apply the information, knowing how to, go about the funding, having these relationships with these lenders so that you can get the best approvals. Relationships are big, right? So if you don't have that, this is where investing in yourself comes into play. This is part of the plan. is you need to strategically have a plan of how you're going to maximize your funding. If you know you need 100,000, you know that the industry standard for people that are going to get you funding is 10% success fee. So you already know that if you are working with somebody that's going to help you get funding, that 100,000 is going to be 90,000 because of their 10% success fee. So understand that. Can you take that into play? Can you know that you're going to have to pay a 10% success fee? Taking that into account with what you want to do. Are you doing like a real estate deal to where, okay, you got the money, you're going to invest it, the 10% fee is fine, the 90,000 net that you're going to use is fine, and you're going to be able to make a return on your investment. These are things you need to be aware of when it comes to maximizing your business funding, when it comes to getting 100K in business funding. And you want to do it correctly. If you don't know what you're doing, hire an expert to help you get through the process. If you don't know what you're doing, if you know you never gotten business funding, you know you never gotten personal funding, you know you never gotten business credit cards, get with an expert that's going to help you get to the next level as far as that. So that's part of the plan, focusing on what you know. Focusing on what you need only and going after that. Reverse engineering. Okay, I know I need 150,000. I know I need only 100,000. Okay, I know $500,000 would look cool, but I only need half of it. I only need 250,000 to, go with this property. I only need XYZ. I only need 50,000 to grow my business, So just reverse engineer what you need and go about it that way. And then the final step is execution. Execute the BPE framework. Execute. This is a physical phase. So you have to physically go do it. You've worked on your belief in yourself. You fixed your personal credit, right? When we say fixing our personal credit, we're not just, like I said, we're not focusing on the score. We're focusing on making sure we have at least 5 primary accounts, making sure you have at least 2 credit cards that have, at least 1 to 2 years of history, preferably 2 years of history, right? It could be a $2,500 limit, but we prefer 5-figure limits. Go to Alliant Credit Union, go to Navy Federal Credit Union, right? These are cards that give you high limits. Barclays gives you a high limit, right? So keep that in mind. So you want to have that on a personal side. If your age isn't a lot, at the end of the day, you may have to get an authorized user trade line, but that's the last thing I want you to do. But you want to make sure that you have primary accounts, because that shows that, okay, you have history of lending. If you need help on history as well, go get like a Rent Reporters, a BoomPay, Rental Karma, backdate your rent by 2 years. So you have that 2 years of history. You need to have revolving accounts. Revolving accounts are basically those credit cards, like I said. Installment accounts, personal loans, auto loans, right? What does your report look like? Your credit score does not matter. It's about how it's structured. Yes, we say have at least a 680. Yes, we say, don't have too many hard inquiries, but a lot of people fail to realize that hard inquiries become less impactful as time progresses. It only stays on your report for 2 years, but as soon as it hits like half a year, 6 months to a year, the hard inquiries are less effective. So all that 3 to 4 hard inquiries on each, it doesn't hold as much weight at that point. So you need to understand where you're at. You need to understand where your client is at. Understand that so that you can go about your business funding the correct way. So to get that 100K, assuming you have the personal credit, all that, take your LLC. You need to have it in good standing, right? So you need to have your articles of corporation. You need to have, in some places, you have to have your operating agreement. You got to have your EIN, obviously, right? You have to show that you're active, you're in good standing. And then take that LLC, go ahead and apply for the funding. Once you've built the relationship with the credit union, the bank, whatever, right? You've had your plan, you know what you want to get. You can get up to $50,000 in a credit card, up to $50,000, no doc lines of credit, assuming you're going with the right, funding sequence. So if you need to do it a couple times to actually get there, let's say you get 15,000 from this bank, and then you get a 30,000 line of credit. Okay, now we're at 45K. Okay, now let's go do it again. And remember, this is going based off of the basis of your personal profile. So as you apply, you get those hard inquiries, you can remove it. Somewhere like a key bank, it's a soft Equifax pool, right? That was what I learned when I applied for Key Bank. I thought it was a hard pull, but it was a soft pull for me at least. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Do your research. Fix your personal credit. Prioritize your personal credit. Yes, you could build these net 30s, net 60s, net 90s. We could do all that. No EIN funding and all that. I personally don't got time for that. I just focus on making sure my personal was where it's supposed to be and I use that as leverage. Stop being scared to use your personal credit as leverage. Stop being scared of personal guarantee. Why are you so scared of personal guarantee? You're planning on not making a profit with the money? The only reason why you should be scared of personal guarantee is if you're scared that you won't make a profit on the money. As long as it's on the business side, it don't matter. I understand, like, if you don't want to have too much debt reporting on the personal side, but if it's just about you don't want to be attached to it because you don't believe in yourself to actually repay it, then that's an issue and you need to get into a new business model. But hopefully that helps. Hopefully this episode helps. Make sure you share it with somebody, share the video, share the podcast. And yeah, with that being said, make sure you take action. Let me know the approval you're getting. If you need help with your personal credit, literally go to my YouTube. And our DIY recession repair remedy course is literally $7 right now. So there's really no excuse for y'all not to have good credit. It's just a matter of when, right? There shouldn't be any excuse of, oh, I don't know how to go about, deleting XYZ. Literally watch my YouTube. We've covered how to delete any and every item. With that being said, y'all have a blessed one.